Hi, Don Friel. When we started this class and started playing with Google Maps, I immediately thought of where I could maybe make the most impact in a second grade classroom. So I thought about literature connections and how maybe we could get the students to think more about their reading. In second grade, most students are becoming readers or they already are readers, and now we're trying to make them think more about their reading and use those higher level thinking skills. So I started to do a search on Google Maps to see if anyone else had done something similar, and what I had found is a great link that someone had put up about the Magic Treehouse books. This is a series that my students absolutely love, and this map here identifies the location of where the first 20 books were set. You can move around the map, and the person who put this together did a really nice job by book title down the side here, and even some have some description with them. You know, Midnight on the Moon took place, it looks like, in Idaho. So I took this idea and I thought about what books do my children really like right now in class. And right now we definitely have a passion for a series of books by Ron Roy called The Capitol Mysteries. And the Capitol Mysteries take place in Washington, D.C. The setting is always based out of the White House. The main character, the girl main character, is the stepdaughter of the president, and she has a very good friend, and they always seem to solve a mystery for the president. So I thought I would then map out in the Capitol Mysteries where the story takes place. They always start at the White House or they start at a famous landmark in Washington, D.C. and move around. So I thought if we use Google Maps, we could identify setting and how setting changes and also give some perspective to how far things are apart. In second grade, Connecticut and Kenya, there's no difference to a second grader. We want to see how far things are apart. So when the students in this book in Washington, D.C., when they go to Rockville, Maryland, they need to see how far that is. So I started by putting the first Capitol Mysteries book, or one of them, not the very first one, but this one's called Who Broke Lincoln's Thumb? And it starts out at the Lincoln Memorial, and this is where they found that the Lincoln Memorial was actually missing his thumb. They quickly ran back, they being Casey and Marshall, ran back to the White House to let the president know. And I put some lines in between there to show the route they were taking. However, I really didn't have the ability to show which route was first, so I kind of left it to just pinpoints on the map. After they told the president the news, they rushed back to the Lincoln Memorial for some clues. They took a clue of a woman's nail polish sample through some deception. They took a piece of wood off a man's stilts, and they were two of the clues they were looking for. They had thought that they might have something to do with the missing thumb. Then they went to George Washington University, to the dorm rooms, because they were looking for a Frisbee that some kids were playing with and thought maybe the Frisbee had something to do with the missing thumb. So they went back to the White House, took all their information they had, and after the FBI looked at it, they found out that it wasn't going to help them at all. So originally when Casey and Marshall went to Lincoln Memorial, they saw some maintenance men working around the Lincoln Memorial. So they left the White House, and then they decided to go to the National Park Service headquarters and maintenance building. And this is where they realized that the maintenance men actually were responsible for the crime, and they got locked into a storage shed and eventually broke out, and the bad guys were arrested, and they all lived happily ever after. So this is the first book that I did on Google Maps, and now my idea is to have students identify the setting changes in their books, specifically the Capitol Mysteries, because we read them as a class, so everyone can participate, and they can map out the series, which is about 12 or 15 books now, and then we can go into Washington, D.C., and put the pinpoints in there to see actually how our characters travel and where they go in their journey. And I think being able to use Google Maps will entice students to want to do this project more and then get a better feeling for exactly where the changes in setting take place. Thanks.